Welcome to Basic Brewing Radio for Thursday, October 31st, 2024. I'm James Spencer. Here at Basic Brewing Radio, we're all about home brewing. Ooh! This week it's our first ever Mash Your Luck competition. I guess you could say it's a Monster Mash Your Luck competition. Members of the Inland Empire Homebrew Club pit 6 beers that they've brewed against each other. Adam Ross and Austin Watkins of Twinspan Brewing help me judge and do most of the work, honestly. If you want to support us financially, check out patreon.com/basicbrewing, and many thanks to everybody who's helping out in that way. If you go to patreon.com/basicbrewing, you can see a long list of stuff that you can access if you sign up as a supporter. And many thanks to the new Patreon subscribers who are signing up every week. Your help is very much appreciated. And here we go. If you're a user of the Patreon iPhone app starting in November, that's next week, if you want to sign up for the first time, use the Patreon website instead of the iPhone app to sign up for new subscriptions. Apple is going to start taking a significant chunk of the new subscriptions via iPhone app starting in November. My big dark Mash Your Luck World beer is now in the bottle. Susan and I added flavors to that beer and bottled it at the end of last week. It came out at 13% alcohol. By the time you hear this, samples should be on their way to Adam and to Scott Housel, and I'm really excited about that. I'm recording this episode ahead of time, so I'm going to make this quick. I've got family business out of town for a few days this week. But before we get started, to take us into the winter months, which I swear are just around the corner, our friends and sponsors at Imperial Yeast are bringing back B45 Gnome for a limited time release. Imperial B45 Gnome was specifically selected for brewing Belgian-style ales with remarkable clarity and classic Belgian profiles. Gnome offers balanced flavor profile, hop and malt harmony, high flocculation, and versatility, being suitable for various Belgian styles from light and hoppy to dark and malty. Imperial B45 Gnome is out there now and will be available until early January while supplies last. Man, I think it's time for me to brew a big, delicious Belgian beer. You know we love Imperial yeast. My stir plate is dusty because I don't use it anymore to make starters for moderate gravity 5-gallon batches, and my airlocks are usually bubbling before bedtime. Ask your local homebrew store about Imperial B45 Gnome, available now. And check out all the dependable deliciousness at imperialyeast.com. It's imperialyeast.com. Now, let's go with our first ever Mash Your Luck homebrew competition with 6 delicious beers from the Inland Empire Homebrew Club. Jason Dunn, welcome back to Basic Brewing Radio.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, this is a record. This is the largest number of people on one Zoom screen being recorded for the podcast. So I think this will go swimmingly. I have total confidence. Now, Jason, you are the president of the Inland Empire Homebrew Club, and y'all are celebrating the 40th anniversary of the club. And you came on the show a while back and took the Mash Your Luck Challenge along with Doug Walker, who we're going to hear a little bit later. And you came up with certain characteristics for a beer. Do you remember what those characteristics are?
Unfortunately, no, not off the top of my head.
Well, I've got them right here on a piece of paper.
Awesome.
Y'all rolled medium ABV. At first, you rolled high bitterness, but you took the joker in the end, so we have low to mid bitterness, gold, ale from Australasia. So that's down in Australia and New Zealand. So medium ABV, low to mid bitterness, gold, ale from Australasia. What was the response with members of the club?
It was actually pretty overwhelming. As you can see, we have 6 different teams. Some of the teams consisted of 3 people. We had 2 with 3 people, and the other 4 with 2 others. So good response from the club.
Excellent. That's a relief. No, see, and it seems like they had fun with it.
Oh, they had a blast with it.
Now, we are turning this into a competition for the first time. The brew crew from Brewlosophy came on before, and Steve and I, we didn't judge their beers, but we tasted their beers, and we basically said, "Oh, these are all delicious," because we're weenies, we're wimps, we're chicken. We didn't want to take a stand and hurt anybody's feelings. But our friend Adam Ross has no feelings for other people. So we've had Adam, you and Adam Watkins up there at Twin Span Brewing are going to be our judge, are going to help me judge this evening. Welcome, guys.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Thank you for having us.
I forced Austin to participate. That's why he sounds so enthused.
I am more than happy to drink beer and know more people. That's fantastic. Could be.
It's networking. This is what this is all about. Networking. So, Adam, do you want to describe the score sheet that's sitting in front of us? Now, we've potentially taken all the fun out of this. So we'll see if we did. But can you describe the score sheet that's sitting in front of us?
Oh, I almost made it much more fun than it is. Thing about PJCP judge and being a cicerone is they hammer like this stuff into your brain. I used to not be this way. I used to not even know like what styles were, and now I can't help but like give everything a score. So yeah, we James and I collaborated on this over many weeks, or today over a few texts and emails.
Many minutes.
And we have the 5 criteria of that was spun on the wheel for Mash Your Luck, whether they got it or not. But then we also broke down some points with theme being 1 to 5 points, originality being another 1 to 5, appearance, and I stole this from the BJCP, is 1 to 3. And that is 1 to 3 because in my mind, appearance is always color, clarity, and head. So there's 3 points right there. Aroma 1 to 5. And of course, that's subjective since we're not really working off a real style here. It's really hedonistic. Same thing with flavor, 1 to 10. And then finish, just to make it an even 30 points, is 1 or 2.
There you go. And the check boxes, we had debated on whether to, if they don't check all the check boxes on the characteristics. Initially, I think you wanted to disqualify people from, like, if they don't check all the check boxes in the Mash Your Luck challenge.
I don't think I was kicking them out.
You're out of
I was
here.
just saying they didn't do it. They were gonna get a firm finger wag over the camera.
So we'll be nice this time. We'll be. So I think, we got 6 beers to taste, so maybe we should get going. And also, Jason, we asked people to give us a beer and a story, right? So that's where the theme comes in. They have to tell a story with this beer.
That would be correct.
And so it's not just the brewing creativity. There's an essay. So Jason, I'm going to have you introduce the teams. And coincidentally, you're on the first one. So who is on the first team?
Yeah, so team 1, we had myself, Mandy Porter, and also Stephen Brooks. Our representative for our team is going to be Mandy Porter. So,
welcome, Mandy.
Thanks for having me.
And I'm embarrassed to think of the last time we had a female voice on the show. So you're especially welcome.
Glad to be here tonight.
Sometimes it's hard to find, not guys on the show. So, while I'm opening your beer and pouring your beer, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background in brewing.
I am married to Jason, so the two of us have a very beer-centric life. We both got into brewing probably close to 15 years ago. He was interested. I bought him the supplies, and I was terrified for my life, so I paid close attention to what was going on during that first session because I was pretty sure we were going to get poisoned. But turns out we made some good beer, and I have gradually gotten more and more involved over the years. I personally enjoy making ciders as well as beers and wines, so I just I love the creative aspect of the brewing and coming up with recipes and adjuncts in beers and things like that. That's where I really enjoy the process.
Excellent. So tell us about your beer. Does it, first of all, what's the name? Does it have a name, and what's the story of your beer?
It has a name, it has a story, it has it all. So our beer is called Something Squirrely New Zealand Pilsner.
Oh, Palesner?
Pilsner. So uh, given the construct of Australasia, I was really inspired to use a stockpile of Australian and New Zealand hops that we had. They're all, very fruit forward and grassy hops that have a lot of different character going on. So my mind initially went to New Zealand Pilsner, but since we're in the ale, we had to checkbox the ale, not lager. We kind of just took a twist on the Pilsner and made it like a Pilsner, but in ale style. So
Nice.
we ended up with a beer at 5.5% ABV. The bitterness was calculated at about 42 IBU, which maybe you could argue that's mid. To some people, that might be a little bit higher. And then it was fermented with a 3470 lager yeast, but done at ale temperatures. Kind of a twist on the BJCP style guidelines of the New Zealand Pilsner, where they say that they're often brewed as a hybrid using an ale yeast at lager temperatures. We just did the reverse of that.
Oh, nice.
So that was our twist.
Now I'm thinking of the boxes. Adam, I think we can agree that that's medium ABV.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and low mid bitterness. That's perceived bitterness. So yeah, 40 I think fits here. Because yeah, if it were, it's really depending on what else is going on in the beer. So 40 I think just on the palate is fine.
Yeah, it's to me this is the first beer of the evening. So it does have a solid bitterness. And I could be talked into, it's certainly not low, but I could be talked into mid bitterness for sure. It is gold. That's an easy one. And it is, even though it was fermented with lager yeast, it was fermented at ale temperatures. I think that counts as an ale. And then tons of Australasian hops. So I think we're good on the check marks.
And I would just say the head on this is beautiful, and it's just like hanging around. This is really nice looking beer.
Yeah. What are y'all's? I guess we should talk about the overall impressions. I mean, what do y'all think of the beer?
Pilsner clicked for me because I, with a lot of judging, you know what to kind of expect going in, and this is more of with these loose parameters. It's kind of like I started drinking before Mandy started explaining the beer at all, and so I was like, as she's explaining, I'm like, okay, yeah, Pilsner is that's clever. That's a nice connection. It is super aromatic. I get a lot of grassy. I get
a lot of
I don't
grassy.
know what you're getting on the nose.
Yeah, grassy, some malt coming through. What, if you don't mind me asking, what hops did you use for this guy?
For bitterness, we use Vic Secret. And then at the hop stand, we use Motir, Nectaron, and Racal.
Oh,
And then
nice.
Dry hopping was done with Nectaron, Racal, and some Vic Secret.
Cool. How'd you like Nectaron?
I liked it. I think it comes out pretty nicely.
Yeah, no,
It's definitely
I would say
Nectaron.
it's definitely on. We just started using Nectaron a couple batches ago, and nice. Yummy yum.
I just took the other beers out of the cooler because I think mine's a little cold. I like the. I'm going to count the Pilsner as part of the theme, and I like that a lot. It's a good creative approach. And if I close my eyes, when I'm sipping it, it's like a hoppy Pilsner. It's like a very cleanly fermented, very bright, finishes clean, very there's my word, drinkable beer. So nicely done, y'all. Very good.
Very, very smooth.
So, and delicious.
Delicious indeed.
So the hard part is the scoring.
I know. I made this too difficult.
We should just put check marks again. Is it good? Yep. All right. Perfect.
That's great.
It's gonna be a thumbs up.
At the end of the day, though, everyone's gonna have a great beer,
So theme, and with the first one, you don't want to pick too high of a number because then there's nowhere to go.
All right.
Hey,
but if they hit that number, they hit that number.
If you're being subjective, it shouldn't matter what order it was pulled in. So we should already have our acts together and score this exactly right just from the jump.
Yeah, this is going to be a mess. All of these people are going to be angry at us by the end of this thing.
I'll have to turn the cameras off. I'm having a hard time separating theme from originality, James.
That's all right, yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe we combine those. If we get mad at me if I use decimal points? If I use like a half?
Oh, wow. Oh.
Right away, you're using decimals.
This isn't Untapped, all right? You haven't... All right? Come on. We're not members here, all right?
Best porter I ever had. 1 star.
Yeah, don't like porters though, so it's okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
anyway.
theme / originality. See, I've had 2 sips of beer already. What do you guys think? Austin, what do you think? I'm going to chicken out and let you go first.
I think it's delicious. There's something about it that reminds me, as I was telling Adam, reminds me of some old school IPA that I had back in 2013 or so when I started getting into IPAs. That said, if I talk myself into a Pilsner New Zealand with ale yeast, I can definitely see it. Delicious. If I ordered this at a brewery, more than happy to have this. I'd have a couple. But yeah, I think everything's pretty dead on. I mean, you hit most of my check marks, or all of my check marks at least. You hit most of my high points as well. Yeah, no, I would not be upset at all, and I'd be more than happy to have this beer in a brew house. So fantastic on my part.
Yeah, I agree with all that. But we need to put numbers. It's going to be the longest show ever.
So we're talking numbers, huh?
By saying the word Pilsner, that I wanted to give 10 out of 10 right on that. But
let's go down. Let's just go down the list. This is speed round. Okay, so theme / originality. Originality. I'm going to say 4.
I'm saying 4 also. I've written down 4 because that's my new favorite word is Pilsner.
Pilsner? Oh, I gave it a 5. I thought it was fun, creative.
Okay.
I know we've done something like this at our brew house using lagers and fermenting at ale yeast. I think that was fun, I don't know.
All right.
I don't think everything should be off guidelines. I thought that was cool.
Appearance, I say 3. I think the appearance is flawless. It's beautiful beer.
Yep, agreed. I'm right there with you. 3.
Aroma, 1 to 5.
Ooh.
My nose is, you see me, I'm the guy with the Kleenex in his hand, so maybe I'm not the best judge on aroma.
I was going to be a little lower because of the grassiness. I'm just not a fan, and we are into the hedonistic categories now. But then and you anchored me, Mandy. As soon as you said Nectaron, I was like, hell yeah, there's 4 out of 5.
I think grassy can play, though, with Pilsner and everything like that, I think that's... I'm 4 out of 5.
Okay, I'll go with you. Flavor, I think it's delicious. I'm going to say 8, just to give room to go.
Okay, I went 8 as well.
I came in at 6 because it's a little busy, a little messy with all those hops. I know I just was singing the praises of Nectaron, but I don't know. I wanted less, at least less complexity there.
I can see that.
Huh? And then finish. I didn't have any problem. I didn't have any problem with the finish. All right.
And I was more than happy for that.
All right. Well done, Jason and Mandy and team. Jason, do you want to introduce team number 2?
Yeah, for team number 2, we had Corey, Bo, and Jason. And Jason's going to be the one representing the team today.
Welcome, Jason.
Thank you, guys. All right, so a little backstory from us. I mean, us three, we were lucky to be able to kind of be placed in the same group. We've been brewing for quite some time together, just as some friends, starting it off. And yeah, we just seriously took it for the past 3 years and just recently joined the Inland Empire Brew Club. And when they presented us with the Master Luck, we kind of jumped on it because, well, what better way to learn, right? So for this beer, we kind of kept it as basic as possible. This was a little out of our element, not one that we typically, brew with. Kept it with local grains, but then when it comes to hops, we used about 2 ounces Nectron at 60 minute, 2 at Whirlpool, the Rock Cow for 2 at Whirlpool, and the Watati. I'm saying it right. 4 ounces. The story behind it, we're just making it for the Master Luck, right? Not much of a crazy story, but yeah. So I mean, we did kind of name it Flight of the Concorde. It's one of my buddies, Bo. He worked with a band from that name, so he kind of based it off of that. But yeah, I'm not great at this public speaking thing. So
Wait, you have a buddy who knows Flight of the Conchords?
yeah, he worked with him.
If I give you 30
all right, you
points,
win,
can
buddy.
you hook me up? I love that band.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Fantastic band.
Jermaine and they're probably listening. I'm embarrassed. Well, excellent. I think you did well on the public speaking, Jason.
No, well, thank you.
So give us the so what was the ABV of the beer?
Okay, so the ABV, we were shooting for 5.3. It ended up 5.4. And the IBU ended at what we were shooting for was 40.
We have a medium ABV beer. I think it's a little less on the sharpness than the first one, so it definitely hits the low to mid bitterness. It is definitely gold. It is crystal clear.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful beer.
Thank you.
And you said it was an ale.
Yes.
And there's a ton of hops from down south. So all the boxes checked. I have to ding you a little bit on the theme, but don't be.
Well, I wasn't 100%. I wasn't 100% prepared for the theme. I'm not gonna lie.
So is it too harsh to say 2 for the theme?
No, not at all. I wasn't prepared.
That's all right.
I actually gave him a 3.
I was going to be nice.
Holding out the odds that he introduces me to Brett and Jermaine. So I gave him 1 extra point.
There you go.
I was going to a 3 to be nice. Yeah.
I would say the appearance is from 1 to 3. I'd say it's a 3 for sure.
It's a 3.
Yeah, I'd give you if I built that scale even bigger, you'd get an even higher.
You
score.
get a 10, buddy.
Yeah, it's crystal.
Yes.
What did you guys do for clarity? I mean, it's crystal clear.
That was my question.
I mean, we just went through our diacetyl rest, and yeah, with that one, just a little bit of gelatin at the kegging process, and that was it.
It's beautiful. Again, I'm going to lean on you guys for aroma. My nose doesn't work as well as it used to.
I'm giddy about this beer. This is like what I wake up and I want to drink a few of. This is, yeah. Besides that gelatin part in the theme, I didn't like that. But other than that, this is beautiful. The clarity is amazing. The flavor is what I want. This is.
You drank bigger beers than this at breakfast too.
Yeah. 100%. This is, I like it. It pulls off this slightly fruity ester in a way. I like this beer.
So,
Jason, good job.
So give us a number, aroma, Austin.
Aroma, I'm going. I like that little citrus and fruit. I'm going 5. There's a little bit of citrus and fruit off it. It's, I don't know.
I went just a little bit more, so I gave landed a 4. There's no flaws, nothing wrong.
I can see
when I hear Australasian, I expect just a little more oomph.
Yeah.
But like you said, I would drink this every day.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to have this on tap.
I'm gonna go 4 just because if I smell a beer tonight,
To be honest,
it'll be
yes,
a 5.
I think a 4. From what Adam said, I think a 4. Yeah, I would like a little bit more. I don't know, Australian hop forwardness.
I like the flavor.
Flavor, money.
It's the hop. It's the hop fruitiness. Very clean. Gosh, I'm going to stick with 8. I like it's way up there. And then the finish, I'd give from 1 to 2. I'd give it 2.
A flavor, I went 10 out of 10. There's I was originally lower, but then I always go with the we were just joking about the Untapped user. It says they love this style, but then they give it a low score. Like, what could improve flavor here? And I don't really know what could.
Hops is the only thing I could see, like a little bit more of that fruitiness from those Australian hops. But other than that, that's delicious.
There you
Awesome.
go.
Thank you.
Excellent job.
Team on this is I'd like a little bit more bite through carbonation. When I think it's sparkling, I think like sparkling. I want effervescent. I want bubbles rushing to the top. But I understand you're in a bottle and everything like that.
Not an Australian sparkling ale. I mean, it's close, but But carbonation.
But again, we're not necessarily
half a bottle,
judging. We're not necessarily judging against that style.
But yeah, I'm not gonna argue. We could. I wouldn't be mad if it were a little fizzier.
Yeah. I'd like a little bit more bite. Other than that, this is a beer I drink for a beer that you do not like to brew or said you haven't brewed too much. This is fantastic.
Yeah, excellent.
And what was the yeast? Because this drinks like a lager.
Not to be a fanboy, but I'll drink this.
So we went with the White Labs 001.
Okay.
Just for clarity purposes and just clean up everything, you know?
Yeah, no, this tastes more like a lager than like those Kvike lager strains that you can pick those out of a crowd. So this is...
What temperature do you ferment that?
We
said that.
Yeah, we fermented at 67.
Nice.
Oh, it's so warm too.
It's ale temperature. Jason, team number 3.
All right. So for team number 3, we have Ricky and Robert, and we have Robert on the call for the representative.
Hey, Robert, welcome to the show.
Hey, hopefully you guys can hear me.
Yes.
Hey, perfect.
So tell us about your team and tell us about the beer.
Yeah, for definitely between me and Ricky, I would say, as far as the club is concerned, we're definitely the hop heads of the club. We're definitely pushing boundaries on hops, hop aroma, hop flavors. So as soon as we saw it was mid, we're like, for the bitterness, we're like, yeah, we could do this. So, so we definitely got together, developed a recipe that we both could agree on, push the boundaries of pretty much the style that we're aiming for, and have a little fun with it, basically.
So what did you think when you guys saw the characteristics? Were you excited? Did you find it a challenge?
I was definitely excited. I have basically every New Zealand hop under the sun right now, at least available for homebrewers. So it was burning a hole in my pocket. So I was like, hey, I got all the hops for this. And Ricky had all the grains for it that was burning a hole in his pocket. So it was just it was a marriage waiting to happen right there. That was it.
Well, this is I think it's the lightest one so far. I haven't tasted it yet. What's the ABV on the beer?
7% flat. So that's what we're going for. And it was right at 7%.
Oh my goodness! Number one, I can smell this beer. So, no offense to the first two, I can't smell. My sense of smell is greatly diminished. I don't know if it's age or it's age. But I
had a feeling you'd smell this one.
Yes, it definitely got through, and the flavor is super fruity. Guys, is 7% medium ABV?
I'm going to have to ding you on that one. Team Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby.
But also, hey, I just want to throw this out there because it's not represented here on the score sheet. I really appreciate the fact that this came in a can. That's awesome. I'm so jealous that homebrewers can can now. That wasn't an option when I was homebrewing. And then I'm sure Robert doesn't. Probably maybe you don't go by Bobby, but I saw it as Can Ricky Bobby, and so like.
No worries.
Not going to give me an extra point for this, but
That's what he says.
Also, I forgot to ask Robert. Do y'all have a story, a creative, something to inspire us for this beer?
Oh yeah, definitely. So with this beer in particular, like I said, the biggest thing was both of us having excess amounts of both malts and for hops. So we said, what can we do to push the standards to its limits at this point, right? Like when people do hops for this one, there's 23 ounces of hops within this batch, 5-gallon batch of beer that this one came in, and we had about close to 15 pounds of malts between flaked oats and having Mecca grade Pilsner and some Mecca grade white wheat malt. So we wanted to really kind of bring in some high quality ingredients and really try to saturate it with the hop oils, and to the point where even though it has like that hazy feel to it, oddly enough, there's actually not a hazy yeast into it. We even did Chico yeast on top of it. So an extremely clean yeast that we wanted to push for it, instead of trying to go the other route where you could just use a hazy yeast to kind of push the barriers as far as how the yeast is interacting with the hop oils and everything.
So it's a story of American excess and excellence.
Absolutely.
I got to interject though, and we just released incredibly hazy beer using 007, and it is as hazy as all get out. And anyone who's ever brewed with that's what is it on the other yeast manufacturers? 1968 is close, and Y yeast, Imperial, it's pub ale. It's a drop super clear, and we just you can have super hazy beers without a hazy yeast. And with the sheer amount of hops you threw in there, I was doing the quick math. I think this is definitely more hops than I've ever thrown into a beer. Double. That's about 9 pounds per barrel, I think. And a lot of hazy brewers are brewing at about 3 pounds per barrel these days, up to 5. We just did the one that I said with clear yeast. We were at about 5 to 6. This is 9 pounds, so that's an incredible amount of hops.
No wonder it got through my nose. So medium ABV. 7 is a little high for a medium, probably. Don't you think, Adam and Austin?
I'm not.
If I'm being honest, as a man where I would say we're hitting the point of medium is kind of going out the window. I think we're getting right there. I think 6.5, I think that's when we're starting getting medium, going a little too much. 7 might be just tipping it over, but you could also, if you talk to breweries around here, you could say that that's a very low alcohol. Right here that thinks 10% is a lager.
So and low to mid bitterness, it's about the same bitterness level, my perceived bitterness level as the other beers. To me, it's the lightest one of the. It's goldish. It's to me, it's like straddling the line between pale and gold. But
I wasn't even argue on that. I'd argue on low mid bitterness. Just the sheer amount of hop oils is bringing with it this it's pushing it towards mid high. Gold though, it's beautiful beer, and I'd call this gold.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
For me, anything lighter than that, it gets into pale or light lager territory.
I can see your debate between low mid or mid bitterness. That's kind of going into to me a Westy. I see where you're going there. Ale, yes.
And then ale, we got the ale, and we definitely got the Australasian.
And I probably did not hear you. What hops were used in this one?
Yeah, this one. This one was Nectaron, and we also had an experimental hop called NZH 107. So this was supposed to be like a very pineapple forward.
Okay, heck yeah.
So some to also complement like the passion fruit from the Nectaron, right? So like that's what we're looking at as far as that. And for the other one, we use Galaxy as kind of like the base, just to give it a little bit of a bottom, basically, right? Like not go too hard on Galaxy, because Galaxy could easily become the front and center when you're using it as a hop.
Yeah.
So we only use just half of what we used on the other two, you know. So
Do you remember
yeah.
what year the Galaxy was?
This one was 2023, last year's crops.
You're golden
Okay.
then.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You should be good.
I don't know. I swore on the nose I got a little bit of hint of smoky phenol, and 23 was supposed to be good with that,
Yeah,
wasn't
23
it?
was
I
good.
wonder where that's
I
coming
think
from
it was
then.
20 to like 21 or so was when that was fired.
Had all that smoke taint.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, Smokey Phenol was my favorite Motown artist, but that's another.
It's another.
I thought you'd crack up at smoke taint, James. I know what I've heard stories about what you did in college.
You come stop over here then, huh?
Who have you been talking to? This is a delicious beer. It's way good. Okay, we got the fruitiness is off the charts. Okay, so
yeah,
so all right, number 1 to 5 theme / originality. I'm going to put it right down the. I'm going to say 3. I'm going to put it right down the middle.
That's where I landed.
Yep, I agree.
Appearance, I've got nothing to complain. It is hazy, but there's nothing that says it can't be. I'm going to say 3.
Yep.
Aroma, I have to give it a 5 because I can smell it. Flavor, I'm going to have to go 9. I'm going to go 9. It's the most flavorful beer of the evening for me. I don't know about you guys.
I'm not rating it on intensity of flavor. I'm rating it on the hedonistic flavor. I give it a 7 because those hop oils are just a little too much. It's actually pushing into like you almost get at the back of the throat. You almost get a little bit of that
Hot burn.
Yeah, hot burn. I'm not a
Maybe
huge fan of
hot
hot
burn.
burn. I know some people like hot burn.
It wouldn't be hot burn, but I see what you're saying.
It's,
I split you guys right down the middle and gave it an 8. I think there is a little bit of bitterness that's a little bit aggressive. It's something in between the middle. The first sip, fantastic. Last sip, amazing. In between, there's a little bit of bitterness or something. That throws me off, but I gave it an 8. So I mean, me being thrown off, giving it an 8, you know. As far as finish, though, it was a finish for me. Made me bring me back to the glass and want another sip. So I gave that a 2.
Yeah.
And that's all I ever ask, you know. Something that made, regardless of what it is, just make me take another sip, you know.
Drinkability.
Exactly.
They call that.
well done.
Yes.
Nice. So far, y'all have not disappointed, and of course, I expect the best from this club.
I love it. I do this every week. This is fun. My goodness gracious.
Yeah, James, get on that homebrew
Yeah,
club
I
stuff
get
here.
to check out some of the best homebrew clubs around the U.S. My goodness gracious, sign me up.
Well, maybe this will be a trend.
Yeah,
Maybe others. But
Is there-
this is an open invitation.
Sounds like your next
we might
thing
have
is.
started with the most.
Sounds like TikTok's your next revenue. Please don't. Please don't.
I'm not cute enough.
All right, thank you.
I'm gonna mute the microphone.
Okay, Jason, who's team number 4?
All right. So on team number 4, we got John and Cynthia. We got John on the phone to talk about the beer.
Yeah, there we go. First off, guys, I want to apologize. You really shouldn't drink that beer. It's terrible. I just sent it in so I could participate in the podcast. It was a terrible brew day, and it might be the worst thing I ever made. So there's that.
Really?
Yeah, it's not good.
I know this tactic. He's setting our expectations low so that
No. That's if only. It was the first time I used malted oats, and apparently my mill is not gapped properly for that. So I came in 40 points low, and I didn't do a pre-boil gravity check because normally my numbers are on every time. So because of that, I really feel like the malt balance with the hops is super off. It came in super low ABV. Just the whole process was a nightmare. Yeah. So when I was packaging it, I pressurized my conical, blew the lid off it, bent all the hinges. It was a terrible experience. So,
We're gonna give him pity points on theme and originality. James.
well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I was really excited to make it. My partner picked the recipe. She's really good at adjuncts and other things. And the first recipe she had ginger in it, and I was like, absolutely not. I'm like super sensitive to ginger, and I just can't do it. So we went with the hazy, and like I said, the first time I used malted oats, and then so now I know. And then it was all Waiti and Rawaka. So
Well, when it comes to ginger, I'm more of a Marianne man, but that's just for Steve Wilkes.
Hey, you're talking to a ginger here, James. Come on.
Oh, that's right.
I want to just throw out there with flaked oats, don't mill them. You don't need to mill.
No, it was a malted oats.
Oh, malted oats. Okay, yeah. I avoid those because yes, they you do have to adjust your mill.
Yeah. It was malted oats, which was half the grain bill. And then it was also a small percentage of Golden Promise oats, I think.
Golden Naked Oats. I don't
Golden
adjust
Naked
my mill.
Oats.
I don't adjust my mill. I don't think you need to. My numbers
Okay.
don't get affected by that. But yeah, regular malted oats like RAR makes, or I think Breeze does some too. You do need to adjust your mill for those.
Yeah, because when I went to the homebrew store, I'm looking at them like, these don't look right. So I asked the person that works there, he's like, yeah, just run them through the mill. And then when we're mashing in, me and my partner had a conversation. I'm like, this doesn't look right. Like, I don't know if this milled properly. It looks really off. And I was like, well, he said it'd be good. So we just rolled with it. And that was unfortunate. So
what ABV did you wind up with?
Oh, that's 5.1.
Yeah, you're talking the beer down, but I don't know.
I think it's really harsh and grassy. I just did. I mean,
I don't know. I think you're a little hard on yourself.
All right. Well, thank you.
This is not. I mean, I'm still drinking it. I mean, I've had home brews, that were bad. This is not bad. I've had some that were like, how close to the kitty litter box did you brew?
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's just from being what it was supposed to be to what it is a huge difference, and so maybe that's where my
John,
negativity
and
comes
I
from.
run into this as a professional brewer. Your consumer doesn't know what you intended it to be.
Well, this is true.
So lean into the strengths of it. And what I'm getting off of this is I'm not getting any serious flaws. I do get a little grassiness, but I'm going to blame that on some of the hops because the Australasian hops do tend to pour a little or express a little grassy. I'm getting this like little lemony funk.
Lemongrass.
Yeah, like, and Austin was just mentioning if you added a fruit to this, like peaches,
Apricot or peach, you could have told me on it.
and this would have broke the mash your luck categorization. If you soured this a little bit,
Oh, yeah,
this
100%.
beer would be money. This
Money.
would be.
No,
All
this
right.
is not a bad beer at all. I mean,
I'm a huge fan of the Amaretti Peach, like either the beverage infuser or the gummy one. Like I tried that with watermelon and boysenberry and raspberry, and none of them really hit. I was like, no, that's just not going to work. But maybe I'll try peach and see what happens.
Yeah, I think Amaretti Peach. I don't know. We have no experience with it. We brew one. We use Amaretti quite a bit. We like to use puree as much as possible, but for us, I think Amaretti just kind of creates that accent note over the top. It's the same thing as extract. I don't think anyone should ever brew with straight extract. But I think, and I've even talked to some people that win amazing awards, and they're like, we do the same thing. Add whatever you need, and then if you want something off the nose or a little bit extra, just add a little bit of extract. So that being said, I think Amaretti Peach or we don't use tangerine, we use apricot.
Yeah.
I think that would have been, you would have sold me, man. And I'm not a guy who likes fruit or a guy who likes brewers that cover flaws with fruit. But I think you definitely could have done that with this one. And as Adam said, if you soured it in some way, sold all day, man. I would
Just like lactic acid.
yeah. I mean that we've used that.
Or
We use
citric
a couple
acid, maybe?
different
Citric
methods.
acid.
I wouldn't rely solely on that. It would be blending in a little bit of like
I
Philly
think,
or
yeah, I think a Philly or some other, sour Vissier, I think would be a fantastic addition to this.
I
I
don't
don't know what yeast.
I don't hate this beer.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you 4 for theme and originality because that was coming into Shark Tank and saying my idea sucks, guys.
Give it to you.
I'm out, dog.
No, appearance that it doesn't have much of a head, and it didn't stick around. I'm gonna ding a little bit there I'll say 2 there. What do you guys think about aroma? What's it smell like?
I
I get orange, blossom, lemongrass. Kind of those distinctive flavors.
Yeah, lemongrass is great. Like I said, I got a little, almost more lemon than lemongrass. A little, I don't know, weird kind of like, not weird bad, but like I can't put my finger on it, kind of fruit, almost like lychee or one of those fruits that like everyone uses as a descriptor, but no one knows
what the heck they're in the top. Right.
And there is a little, and we're not, and it's not pissed here. There's a little bit of a tannic pull. There's a little bit of, on a BJCP sheet at least, it would get a little bit of a ding for that. That's probably from something with the sheer amount of oats that weren't milled properly. Would be my guess.
All right.
I don't know. I think you could have co-pitched this with some sour Vissier and sold.
Yeah, I've had worse professional beers.
Use whatever yeast you're doing.
That's too late to pitch Sarvisi on top now. But what's on the peach,
100%.
It would be fine to bench with a little bit of, like you said, citric acid or malic acid, just a little drops in a couple times.
Because I still have like 9 gallons of this, so I can figure a way to salvage it. That'd be awesome.
There you go.
Yeah. Let us know. That'd be fun.
All right.
Well, excellent.
I think
I'll adjust them all and send them back in.
I think you're beating yourself up a little too much on this one, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a couple things you could have fixed, but
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Don't feel bad. I'm probably going to finish the rest of it before the night's through. So
I haven't tasted it in weeks. So.
All right. This one has a label. Team number 5. Jason, introduce us to team number 5.
All right, so we got Doug and Bob on team number 5. We got Doug on here, who just want to do a quick little mention for him. Took second place at NHC for his Weizenbach.
Wow, nice, excellent. Congratulations, Doug.
Thank you very much. I also have to throw a shout out right back at him because he also took a second place at NHC for his Czech Dark Lager, which last year he took first and he took silver. So that's back-to-backs, same category. So that is monstrous. Nice. So give it up for Jason right there.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, excellent. So it's Doug and Bob, but are we sure it shouldn't be Bob and Doug?
Jeez, I gotta take a leak so bad I can taste it.
I'm so glad you did that.
Nice. Take off, hosers.
Oh, take off, eh? All right. Now, I have a beautiful label. It says "No Love from Down Under Pacific Ale, 5.25% ABV." And who have we got on the label?
Oh, that would be Bob and Doug.
Oh, there you go. I should hit the button just like Under Pressure. Every time somebody says Bob and Doug, I hit the gotta take a leak so bad I can taste it button. But anyway, tell us about this beer, Doug.
Okay, so before I tell you about the beer, Bob really wanted to be on here, but he had a conflict. So, I mean, both Bob and I are kind of the new guys to the club. We both have been brewing since about 2021. We both brew small batches, anywhere from 1 every other month like Bob does, or 2 or 3 a month like I do. We both like the malt forward beers, and we both are fans of ales and European lagers. So when we got the criteria for this beer, I had just recently been made aware of a style that is not Australian sparkling ale, but it is it's a style that is so Australian, it only exists in Australia. It is not in the BA, it is not in the BJCP. And a little backstory about this style. In 2009, a hop producer called Hop Products Australia, HPA, came up with this little gem that you might know of called Galaxy. And so they were trying to get some attention around that. They went to a brewery, Stone and Wood, and they said, we want you to make a beer that showcases this new hop that we have, which is Galaxy. And so the guys at Stone and Wood, they put together a recipe that is a heavy wheat based backbone to really showcase that Galaxy. So all of this came together right around the same time we did the Mash Your Luck. And so it just seemed like a great idea. So we went with that style, which is a Pacific Ale. It is 60% two-row, 20% flaked wheat, 20% wheat. We hit it with about 16 and a half IBUs with Magnum in about 30 minutes to give it some a nice clean bitterness up front. And all the hop flavor is coming from dry hops. We are doing about 2 grams per liter hop rate in the dry hop, and we dry hopped right around halfway through the fermentation process. We did 60% Galaxy, but just to put our touch on it, we brought in some Nectron. And we thought it would be a great idea to reach out to the folks over at Stone and Wood, because he made himself available on the podcast. He did say, hey, reach out to me. So we reached out to him and another lady who was a content provider and a writer who also talked about that beer. So we reached out to both of them from Australia, and we were asking them if they could, give us an audio clip or an email or a text, or even just something that says, hey, good luck on the Mash Your Luck. And we got ghosted. So the beer went from shout out from down under to no love from down under. And that is the story of the name. And on the label there, you will see a rendition of myself and Bob, or as if you got that button ready, Bob and Doug.
Jeez, I gotta take a leak so bad I can taste it.
And hopefully this beer doesn't taste like that. So that's kind of the backstory. We, for those nerds who care, it is 3-to-1 chloride to sulfate. It was mashed at 66, and it was dry hopped at about 1025, started at 1048, and we got to about 5.5 ABV. So I hope we hit all the marks, and I hope you enjoy it.
Wow. Well, before we talk about the beer, I got to give you a 5 for the theme and the originality of the story. That's and you're the only one to provide artwork too. So yeah, I enjoy that quite a bit, and I get to use my button. So yeah, medium ABV, low to mid bitterness. This is fairly light again. This maybe is this the lightest one so far?
I think this is the lightest one so far. Almost too light, but I'm not going to get hung up on that. That's reserved for if we have a tiebreaker.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I'll put a question mark there. Ale and definitely Australasian. It is for the amount of adjunct, the amount of adjuncts that's in it. It is crystal clear, nearly crystal clear, which kind of surprises me.
That's all time.
I can smell this beer as well as taste it. What do you guys think?
We're a little wishy-washy on the mute button here. Yes, we've been talking a lot on this beer because we were blown away that this is Galaxy and Nectaron. This really, I would have guessed this is Nelson Sauvignon.
I thought this was Nelson Haltro Blanc. Like, this is so much white wine in a great, fantastic way that, yeah, I did not expect Galaxy at all. This is, yeah, congrats.
Yeah, and appearance is fantastic. I kind of am aware of the style that you are mentioning there, Doug, that this is an homage to, and we do need more of that in the U.S. I've been wanting to brew this type of beer.
Yes.
I don't know how I would get those hops to express this way, though. I mean, this is
I
like
don't
this is
know
like
how you-
white. This is like white grape juice, like the
No,
sparkling.
no idea. I felt like you just poured Welch's grape white juice into this thing and said, "Here you go, sucker." This is fantastic. What was your recipe again? What was your grain? No.
Yeah.
Let me write it down.
Yeah.
What was that grain bill again, real quick? No,
Yeah, you have to send him a PDF.
Yeah, right. No, fantastic. Like we said, as far as color, of course it could be a little bit darker, but crispy. For me, I won't go. We'll go over the guidelines together, I guess. But yeah, fantastic. Good job.
Yeah, I'm saying 5 on theme and originality. Appearance,
fantastic.
3 from 1 to 3. Aroma, I can smell it. That's I'm saying 5.
Yep.
Flavor, it's got to be up there. I mean, there's the grapiness, the fruitiness. There's a even though the beer finishes clean, there's a perceived little tiny bit of residual sweetness in there. That's got to be from the hops, right?
It finished at 10.8, so I would say it's definitely from the hops.
Yeah.
This is the type of, and I don't know if that's what you're calling it. This is the type of New Zealand Pilsner that I would like. This is fantastic. You hit all of the flavors as far as New Zealand goes. You hit the effervescent, that spritziness. I enjoyed this beer.
Well, it's Galaxy Nectron, which is Nectron's New Zealand, right? Galaxy's Australian.
Galaxy's Australian.
I believe Galaxy's Australian, and I do not know where Nectron comes from, but I know it is in that Australasia area.
I think I'm almost positive it's one of Dr. Rudy's hops. So I think it's New Zealand. I just don't want to create.
Everybody's been.
I don't want to create an international incident.
So I'm gonna be like, hey, this is Nectaron. All right, this is Australian. All right, this is what it's come down to.
To be fair, the folks at Stone and Wood had every opportunity to reach out and give us some input.
Yeah, man, you fooled me with the Galaxy though. I would have never guessed in a million.
You got better Galaxy than I can get.
You unlocked Galaxy, man. Congrats.
Excellent.
That is delicious.
That is a tasty beer. Oh, we got one more. We got Jason.
All right, so we got team number 6 on up, which is going to be Scott and Bill. And we got Scott on the phone to represent their team.
Hey guys, thank you for having me.
Hey Scott, tell us about your team and your beer.
Okay, our team is Bill and I. We actually work together, and the cool backstory about this is he was hired in as a consultant to the company I work at, and we happened to sit next to each other. And one day he saw. I think it was a beer sign or something I had in my cubicle, and he was like, "Oh, you like beer?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah." He goes, "Oh, I homebrew," and I go, "Oh, I homebrew too." So we've kind of gotten together. He's the one who got me to join the club, which was very cool. So I've been a member for a year now, a little over a year. So when this opportunity came to brew together, because although we work together, we don't live real close together or anything. So we talk a lot of beer, but we never have really gotten to brew together. So we took this opportunity to do that, and I would say the theme of this beer was fun, and that's because instead of having one brew day and one recipe, we decided to have 2 brew days, where one was a beer that I pretty much concocted, and he was assistant brewer, and then the other brew day was one that he did, and I was the assistant brewer. And we decided that we'd have fun on 2 days, that we get to go out and brew beer and have 2 batches. And we'd get together and evaluate the 2 beers, and then we would pick one and send one in for the competition. As it turns out, it was Bill's beer. So I'm kind of representing that right now. So as to talk about it a little bit, I'm going to have to read through my notes here. Amazingly, although we had different recipes, they came out really similar, which was interesting because we have some opposites. I'm more of a hophead. He's more of he likes his beers a little bit more on the malty side. So having this beer where it kind of had to be sort of in the middle, I had to kind of tone down my beer just a little bit, and he kind of had to come up a little bit. As far as grain bill, it is mainly two-row. We've got some Munich in there, a little bit of Cara Red for some color, some taste, flaked oats, and a little bit of white wheat. And hops, we bittered at a 30-minute addition with Eclipse. And then the rest of it was mainly end of boil. And that was Vic's Secret, Ella, and Galaxy. And then for dry hop was Galaxy and Vic's Secret.
And what was your ABV?
Came in a little high. Kind of this is the opposite things. I like more session ales in the lower fives. He likes things a little bit bigger. But this one came in at about 6.2.
It is the darkest beer of the bunch. I'd call it still gold.
Yeah, it's on that cusp of dark gold there.
But it's not black gold or Texas tea. So no, it's a good looking beer. It's the darkest. I'd call it, dark gold is what I would call it. It is, and maybe it's because it's at the end of the flight, but I feel it's the maltiest of the six, and I kind of enjoy that at this point. I mean, I love hops, but I also love malty beers. There are hops in it, but the mouthfeel it seems to be a little bit more substantial than the rest. But I'm really enjoying it.
Our goal was to be something more balanced versus, trying to go to one extreme or the other.
Yeah, I'm liking it.
I think this one, when I just nosed it, I was telling Austin here, I'm like, this is either using caramel malt or it's oxidized. Thankfully, it's with at least in my palate, if when I get a strong hop presence with a character malt, a crystal malt, that for me, wrong or right, I connect the dots with that kind of oxidized candy character. But yeah, it was definitely leaning more towards it being a crystal malt, and the Cara Red does that. I've used Cara Red quite a bit. This reminds me of like an actual, and I know that's not what we're doing here, but an Australian sparkling ale. There's a whole, the malt makes a presence, makes an assertion. The hops are still there. There's this little fruitiness, a little bit of earthiness. There's a little bit of a bitterness. This is
some bready biscuitiness.
Yeah, this is an old school, which being an old brewer, I appreciate.
No, I like it a lot. I think it's kind of, it's not as showy as some of the other beers. That all the beers were good, and I'm including yours, John. I'm still gonna sip on this afterwards. But this is it's in a different category. It's a different interpretation of the mash-your-luck characteristics, in my opinion. I don't taste oxidation. It's not cardboardy to me. It's not stale tasting. It is,
oxidation where it can improve a beer. If that makes any sense. You get the beer that might be a little too hoppy, and then it gets slightly oxidized, and it pulls a little bit towards like candy. It's that kind in my palate.
Of course, back in the day, I would do all of my pale ales with like a pound of Crystal 60. So
that feels like it's approaching that trend just a little bit.
But I like, I kept doing it because I liked it.
That's interesting because we used no crystal on that one, so that is interesting.
Well, Cara Red I lump in with crystals because it's a German crystal malts, but they do things like Cara Foam and Cara Red, which kind of lock in the sugars, and it falls into that camp. You couldn't build a beer on Cara Red alone.
So on theme, it's a delicious beer. They're all good. On theme and originality, I think I would say 4. just because I like the teamwork aspect. I like that you guys come together through work, and this is a collaborative effort, and you're kind of trying to find the balance between your two preferences, your two styles. Appearance, I'd say out of one to three, I'd say 3. Aroma, you guys, what are you guys getting on the nose? Again, I'm going to have to depend on your noses.
To me, as Adam said, with these big malt bombs, I get a lot of candied orange. So to me, it reminds me of where my doctor was those little lollipops they would give you, and they were like these orange candied lollipops, and that's exactly what this reminds me of. So that's as far as flavor goes.
Those little gummy orange slices.
Even that. Yeah. So that's what this reminds me of, is like this candied oranges. And even if you candy real oranges, it kind of tastes like this too. So I get candied orange.
Did you get the safety suckers with the little loops instead of sticks? You remember those?
Oh, he's still using those today.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this guy only lets me laugh. What are you talking about? No, we can't have sticks in the brewery. What are you talking about? That's a joking answer.
Yeah, not after that incident last year.
He'll put your eye out.
Incident of 2023. We'll never try to go back.
So what do we say? Do you think 4 on the aroma?
I give it a 4. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can agree with 4.
I like the flavor.
This I once in my life, I think I had a good Cooper's Pale Ale that survived transit, and this is reminding me of that in a really good way.
So what are y'all thinking on flavor from 1 to 10?
I really enjoy this one for flavor. I gave it a 9.
Oh.
For me, just because it reminds me of old school IPA malt bomb, which if that's what we're going for, you nailed it. But I'd give it a 7 or so.
I hear what you're saying. The fact that it uses a little bit of crystal malt,
it's got that. I don't know. I get that, and I apologize. You're a fantastic brewer. I get a little bit of this, just too much orange candy going on for the style guidelines.
This guy's my only complaint to Austin there is Austin's too young to like the malt bomb beers of 15 years ago.
Fair. I'm 28, so
different.
Take your scores with But no, fantastic beer. Like I said, like almost every other beer that we've had tonight. If you poured this at a brewery, I would not flinch an eye. I'd be more than happy to have that pour.
Yeah, it's good. I like the fact that it's the different. It seems to be most different, although that's not a thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it stands out, and it's a different interpretation.
100%.
I like it.
I said, hey. Oh.
I'm glad it's last. On the flight.
Yeah, I know. If I was at a brewery and I said, hey, give me an IPA, one of your classic styles, and they gave me that, I'd be like, yep, you nailed this thing. Fantastic. Yeah.
So should we do some math now?
Oh goodness!
I've added up all my totals. I've got my 1, 2, and 3. I want to just add in there the fact that it's been a number of years since I've judged the homebrew competition. I don't know the last time I had 6 homebrews in a row where like none of them were bad.
Literally, that's why I was like, Adam was like, we're gonna judge some homebrews. I was like, okay, let's do it. Oh,
no, anymore. Just in general, homebrewers have all gotten collectively better.
Well, it's
15 years ago, holy cow, there were some categories where it felt like you're being punished.
I mean, they're
Belgian, miscellaneous, 21. Yeah.
The fact that you're allowed to use sour Vissier, all these Nectaron hops, you're allowed to use Eclipse, you're like, that's cool.
We had our share of ingredients. It's more, I think a lot of it's process and knowledge sharing and rising tide raises all boats.
Yeah, no, it's not, I have a secret recipe. I'd say this will help all of us out. Guess what I got?
Even John, who was underselling his beer, that was a good beer. That was a better beer.
John, if you sour that, if you were to sour that and add peaches, you would sold, man.
Yeah, at least here in the Quad Cities, that beer.
Yeah, at least here in the QC. I don't know what your. I know you guys probably have a big market around there. We've got some big breweries around here, but yeah, you would have sold easily on ours. All of you guys would have easily sold our market.
Well, they're within spitting distance of San Diego, so.
Yeah. It's hard to make a name around there, I bet, huh? Goodness gracious.
So
I need to look into you guys. You guys are pounding out great beer.
Yeah, this is really, really impressive, everybody. So do we name our top ones? What? Okay. What? Austin, you go first. Who's your top contender?
And I am so sorry, but I forgot the name. But it's the Pacific Ale is my. Are we going number 1, number 2, number 3?
Yeah. Do you have the team number? The team.
Yes. So are we going just your favorite one?
Yeah. Who's your top?
My favorite is Team 5. That was fantastic. You hit all my notes that I personally like, so don't anyone else take it personal. From my scorecard, I think you hit all the notes that stick out to me.
Adam?
Same. That is number 5 was my number 1.
Well, and the spread was within just a few points.
Yes. Agreed.
You guys were literally all
my highest and my lowest are within 5 points.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah, it was very close, but also Team 5. I think it's unanimous. Bob and Doug.
Jeez, I gotta take a leak so bad I can taste it.
Of course, you don't. You win bragging rights at this point. That's if we come up with a prize. At some point, you will retroactively get a prize. But right now,
I thought we were going to send them the home board game version of this game.
James, you have no idea what bragging rights are worth in a club that's been around for 40 years.
Oh no! Oh goodness! Oh no! I don't. We gave too much power to them.
Thank you very much.
Honestly, all of you guys' beers are fantastic. I've had other clubs' beers that some were, drain pours to I wouldn't even touch it. Your guys' is all. I mean, we're gonna finish all this beer tonight. It was all fantastic. So every single one of you guys were, fantastic.
I judged. I haven't judged a lot of competitions, but I used the descriptor. Animal shelter on one of the beers that I just
see? There you go.
So no, these were all I would and might. I mean, of course it's my bedtime, but these are all way, and I expected no less. These are all way good. I mean, even John, yours is if I brewed that beer, I think I'd be pretty happy with it. I'm sure that I would take notes and I would, change things on a successive brew.
It was like can, wasn't it?
But no, I don't think.
James, you can't go to bed when there's good beer to be drinking. Hey, are we covering our number 2 and 3? Because I got those ready.
Oh,
are we doing?
Okay, well,
are we doing
all right.
Silver, bronze?
Okay,
and that means there's only 2 losers.
My number 2 is number 2.
Okay,
I was right there with you.
My number two was Team 3.
Okay,
and then there was a tie between 1 and 6 for number 3. Apparently,
number 6 was my number 3. It was not a tie, but it was all close.
So, my number 2 and number 6 were tied, actually.
So, but very close. I mean,
yes.
So close.
Everything is literally within, for me, it's 4 points.
Yeah. And I didn't have to disqualify anyone and kick them out.
Yeah. Although if we would have been sticklers, if we would have been as mean as Adam wanted to be, guys, Adam, jeez.
Welcome
Louise.
to my work life. My goodness. I'm kidding. Well, the nicest guys I've ever met.
No, I'm lucky to have this as the thing that I do. So, I congratulations to everybody at Inland Empire on 40 years of being a club and being an awesome club. Obviously, because y'all are turning out brewers that are brewing some excellent beers. I mean, these are super good. And Jason, thanks very much for helping to shepherd the proceedings this evening. And y'all keep it up. This was amazing. And, if y'all want to do this again sometime in the future, let me know. This was fun. Maybe we can get a more challenging, because, you guys knocked all of these out of the park. So, we need to do something more challenging next time.
Or just send Austin and I more beer. You can just feel free.
Yeah. We'll support you in Iowa. If we ever get anyone over your way, we'll throw out your name. You're fine.
And it's worth mentioning, whoever packaged these beers did an excellent job. Like, that was
yeah.
they did a really
Mandy is waving.
You guys hit it. Yeah. There is a snap on every bottle seal. The can's fantastic, or the can.
Well, I meant like that too, but I meant also putting it into the box.
Yeah,
like
100%.
They were all in little cardboard tubes, and they all had, everything was just.
So thanks everybody. This was wonderful. Jason, give all the best to everybody at Inland Empire, and we hope it'd be fun to make it down and see you guys one day.
Yeah, no, thank you for having us on, James, Austin, and Adam. Thank you for doing this. It was a blast. Definitely, let's get something together in the future again.
Excellent. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Hey,
Thank
thanks
you.
for sharing this fantastic beer, guys.
Thank you so much.
Many thanks to everybody who participated in the competition, and a special thanks to Adam and Austin, who lent a lot of credibility to the judging aspect of the thing. We got a lot of good feedback afterwards from people who were impressed with the judging side of that's all Adam and Austin, I think. Apologies to Austin for calling him Adam in the beginning, and of course, big congratulations to Bob and Doug.
Jeez, I gotta take a leak so bad I can taste it.
And the Inland Empire Homebrew Club is so classy that they made their own trophies to give to the winners. We're so lame. Jason says everybody had so much fun they hope to do it again. Well, how about that? We had a lot of fun as well, drinking 6 delicious beers. If you have brewing questions, show suggestions, or just want to say howdy, write to james@basicbrewing.com, or just fill out the contact form at basicbrewing.com. And please don't forget to tell us where you're from. Check out our mobile-friendly shop at basicbrewingshop.com. Thanks to everybody supporting us through our Patreon page. Special goodies coming your way. Check that out at patreon.com/basicbrewing. So until next time, until then, thanks for listening, everybody. I'm James Spencer. Production help for Basic Brewing Radio and our website is provided by Kelly Dodson. Basic Brewing Radio is a production of Active Voicing. We'll talk to you next time, everybody. In the meantime, stay well and stay tuned. So long.